It's time to eat Easter's tomorrow, I think. Something like that. Yeah, Easter and April Fool's Day are on the same day this year. It's weird. So it turns out that song that I was writing yesterday, it was done. I just added like a really small horn part to it, but I think that's good. I'm gonna write more songs, do some more editing today. I almost feel like we could maybe get this done before we leave, but it would take impossible. It would be a Herculean effort. But the good news is we will have a good amount of it done so that as soon as we get back from the road trip, we should be able to wrap it up. Yo, wrap it up, B. You know, I guess the thing about having a regular break, like a weekend, is that you don't have to feel guilty about not working. I have not had anything like a typical work week since 2010 when we opened the studio. There's been plenty of days where I haven't worked because I'm just too exhausted to work. But part of the reason is that there's 7 days a week where I'm doing something or working on something instead of taking like a day off and just saying, you don't have to do anything, you're done working. And this decision to not work on Sundays at all has been the best one because today's Saturday, it's 5 o'clock, I just finished all the work for the day. And besides vlogging, I'm done for the rest of the day. But I'm so looking forward to a day of just not thinking about any of that stuff, just being done. I should have done this a long time ago. I understand the reluctance of me doing it though is because the reason why I never did it before is because if you're working for yourself on a day where you're not working, that's something where you're not building whatever you're working towards. But if it just means that I get burned out and don't work for a few days, if I try to work 7 days a week, it's not worth it. So with that being said, it's time to just sit on this couch for a while. Kind of funny, just yesterday I was talking about what can we actually take credit for when it's really a large part our physiology. And then I started watching this Netflix documentary that they've been advertising about some doping scandal or something. But wouldn't you just feel like really guilty all the time if you were taking drugs to increase performance and you actually won? I don't know, I would feel really guilty. But I mean, if I were an esports player and I drank a cup of coffee, do you realize how much better my performance would be? Like, it would literally be like a performance enhancing drug, and yet it's perfectly legal. So where do you draw the line? Who knows? Some people say, just let everybody take as much steroids as they want. That would level the playing field. The episode is now public. You've probably seen that by now. There's gonna be 2 live streams today, one at PM and one at 7 PM. I will try to get my mother on one of those. But until then, I will see you then. And then thank you for watching today's vlog. I'll see you tomorrow also.
One of the reasons the rocks are like this is we're actually right now in the San Andreas Fault, and this is a byproduct of the North American plate and the Pacific plate overlapping each other, which is why you get these rock formations in such an interesting, beautiful angle. You know, I've done this hike multiple times, but I just got a tip that there is a place I have not been to. Apparently in there, and while I don't condone vandalism, there is this place that's spray painted and dubbed Satan's Den. And I've been told I need to check it out. I'm gonna go explore it today, if I can find it. Now, the park doesn't advertise it for obvious reasons, but I do have some GPS locations, and I'm gonna see if I can't poke around and try and find it. The trail I'm actually on today is part of the Pacific Crest Trail. And if you don't know what the Pacific Crest Trail, it's this trail that goes from Mexico to Canada over the course of, I'd say, over 2,000 miles. And this is part of the trail you hit right after going through Los Angeles before visiting the town of Agua Dulce. There are some mountains called the Sierra Pelonas that PCTers have to go over before they start hiking through the Mojave again. But this trail is pretty simple. It's about 2.5 miles, maybe 3 miles. And there's a surprise at the end, which is pretty interesting. Now, the problem is you do have to double back, so there is no loop. But it's just a beautiful hike, and hopefully the rain doesn't continue. But this really is the definition of scattered showers.